Hey guys, welcome to this video today. So today I wanted to talk about research and opportunities for research at Imperial College London. So if you're kind of a potential applicant, you'll probably know that Imperial is world renowned as a research institution. It's a STEM university, and it's really well known for research. And like if you just consider like even during the time of this pandemic, how much the government has relied on scientists from Imperial and members of the Faculty of Medicine from Imperial. You can see like it's entrenched. Like Imperial has a really good research reputation. So, and funny enough, like when we were in I think the initial introduction weeks of our course earlier on, it's like even they know like the number one reason that people say why they want to study at Imperial is often research. So yeah. So without further ado, I want to talk a little bit about like the different research opportunities that I've come across so far in my first term and what I know about research at Imperial. So there's something called a UROP, which stands for Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. And it's a program, but really it's very independent, and there's not a very formal and strict procedure of how you go about doing this. But essentially all it means is if you want to do research in any given faculty or department, you contact a professor or someone that's actually doing that research, and you email them and you say, hey, I find your research very interesting and I'd love to kind of contribute to this in any way if I can. Are there any projects or anything that I could work on in the summer? And if there are, then people will let you know. Obviously, given the situation with the pandemic right now, it's unlikely, or I'm guessing, I actually don't know, but I feel like there are probably a lot less places available for that kind of thing. So yeah, so if you heard that for the first time, you haven't really heard of Europe before, you can imagine it's very independent. So I feel like if you were like 18, 17, coming from school, 19, maybe you're not very used to doing that kind of thing, and you're more used to like structured programs where there's an application form, you fill that in, there are maybe assessments and things. Whereas here, it's much more independent, right? And you might not even really know like how many different labs there are at Imperial, and what kind of research they do and things like that. And I think if you're really serious about research, like you need to start to sort of familiarize yourself with that kind of thing. Like, what are the different labs within the different faculties, within the different departments? What are they doing? Who are the people that are running those research? How many research projects are the labs doing? Who are running those projects? There's often like PhD students involved, and among other things, there's often kind of professors that actually manage the research and things like that. So yeah, that's an overview of like how the Europe program works. So one thing, the other thing I kind of want to talk about is during our first term there was basically, I think it was called the Young Researchers Conference, online conference or something like that. That was run by, I can't remember the name, but it's a society at Imperial. I think if I can find it, I'll link it in the comments description area. But they basically ran this program where they invited students from past year that had done research, and other members of faculties, for example, that were involved in research and things like that. And it was basically, as you can imagine, it's lots and lots of information about how to go about doing research. Now, a quick sort of caveat I want to add is that from this year onwards, at the time of recording this video, basically something has changed in the application for foundation years. Where in the past they used to consider like research would give you points, publications would give you points, and also having an intercalated degree, so an extra IBSc would give you extra points when you're applying for foundation training. I do talk quite fast, like I can hear it myself, but I can't help it. So maybe I'll try and slow down. But in any case, so that's now, at the time of recording this video, that's no longer the case. So even if you do get publications or you do research, if you're doing it for the purpose of you want extra points later on, at the time of recording this video, you won't be getting any. So, and that comes on to a point that I'm going to kind of, actually I'll build on it now. So during the Young Researchers Conference, we had one student at Imperial who'd done, like in his second year, had done a research project with Dr. Paul Stratton, who is one of our anatomy teachers for first year. And it's really funny because when I was watching this earlier on, I'd met him during my anatomy teaching, and he's really great. Like, he talks a lot around the subject, and he's very like he'll just help you understand things. And during anatomy, I often feel really stupid because I don't know what's going on, and he's someone that will not judge you for it and will help you understand things, which is great. So in any case, I'd sort of Googled, searched him up, and seen that he runs a lab called the MSK Lab, or he's involved in the MSK Lab, which I think is musculoskeletal. Um, and they do some really interesting projects. Again, I can link the lab in the comments description box below. So I thought it was interesting that he had done this research project with the person that I was kind of intrigued about as well. And he mentioned, like, you really don't do like a research project is quite time consuming, so you generally do it over the summer, for a month or 2 months or 6 weeks or something like that, 8 to 10 weeks maybe. And it's very time consuming. As you can imagine, at the end of first year, or any year of medicine, you're probably going to be quite tired, quite worn out, having done all your exams and stuff. And if you don't enjoy research, you don't really want to do it, it's just going to be a really long drag for you in the summer. And now you will not even get like kind of any points or anything like that for the way of doing it. So really, you should only be doing, I think, research if you really think you're interested. And that comes back to a point, like, I was talking to one of my friends, and she's in my anatomy group, my small group as well. And I sort of mentioned to her, like, that it would be cool if we had someone to do this with. And what I found really kind of not inspiring, but what I thought was really great is, instead of just jumping and being like, yeah, that sounds amazing, let's do that. She really thought about, like, do I really want to be doing that at the end of the summer? Like, is that something I really want to do? Which I really admired, actually. So I think we can all benefit from thinking, like, it's good to like kind of put yourself out there for different opportunities, but sometimes it's actually good to take a step back and think, do I really want to do that, or do I like the idea of doing it? So that's my point about research. So yeah, so I guess, yeah, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of context about the UROP. The other thing I wanted to add is that we had, during the Young Researchers Conference, there was another doctor who was a bit older, had some experience, who's written a book. So it's free for Amazon Kindle Unlimited, so you can get a free trial for Amazon on Kindle Unlimited. I'll put the name of the book in the description box below. I still haven't, at the time of recording this video, I still haven't read it myself. So I will probably go through and read it as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing that. Right. The only other thing I wanted to talk about briefly was something called the Student Shapers Program. So this is also kind of research as well, and I don't know if a lot of students at Imperial even are aware of this. So the Student Shapers Program is when you work with a member of staff from Imperial, and you work on 4 different areas of research, one of which is educational, which I know because it's something that I'm interested in, but the other 3 I don't know. But I'll put a link in the description or the comments, the box. I don't know what it's called. It's the description box. Put a link in there if you guys are interested. But that's something else that I came across that I thought was quite interesting as well. I did actually contact the department for a potential research proposal myself that will be educational in nature. What I found quite intriguing was, like, the reply I got, but from a doctor who runs that department, was very in depth, and I think he made me quite aware that conducting educational research in particular is actually very time consuming, and it's a big project that will take up a big chunk not only of your life but of the staff member that will be helping you, and you really need to think about things in quite a lot of detail, because there's things like getting ethical approval that has to be done as well. So yeah, so that's something I will have to kind of think about a little bit further, and maybe I'm not at this stage actually ready to do educational research. Maybe I actually need to brush up on my skills and improve and learn a lot more before I can kind of consider undertaking a project like that. Trying to think, is there anything else that have I come across that would be beneficial for students that are interested in research? Not at this stage. So I think those are the 2 key things. So UROP and the Student Shapers Program. And be aware that, again, you're not likely to get points in the future now for doing research or having publications and things like that, which I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't really thought about it in depth. I think the way they've gone about implementing it, though, it's like it applies immediately to all students, is not great. Like, I think they should have given a heads up. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, and the final point I want to stress again is really think about, is it something you really want to do, or you just kind of like the idea of doing it? Often I like personally, I try to, that's something I try to be wary of, because I'm someone that jumps at opportunities, or if there's anything I think I can do, I'll be the first one to kind of be like, yeah, let's do it. And which is good in some sense, but sometimes it's worth really thinking deeply about, am I just doing this because I think I'd like to do it, or am I doing it because I actually want to do it? And the former isn't always a good idea, because you will be, like, if you do a research project, it will be often very time consuming, and if you don't enjoy it, what's the point? Like, spend your summers not traveling. Well, we can't now because of the pandemic, but once that's gone, there's other things you can do with your time, that you can enjoy. So yes, that's 11 minutes, more than I wanted to talk about, but the links for like the main things I spoke about will be in the description box. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're wondering why why is the light there in the same, like, as the same area in another video, it's because I record quite a few videos together generally, because yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I might try and do it differently in the future, but yeah, I don't just wear the same thing every day. But yeah, okay, all right, cool. Thank you for watching. Bye.